All right. Good morning again, everyone. All right. We're still on the we have everybody here. Okay. We're back on the record. State your next witness.
State calls Stephanie Johnson.
All right. Good morning. If I can have you pause there and raise your right hand, please.
Witness complies.
Yes, sir.
Witness sworn to testify truthfully.
Okay. Thank you. If you want to come around and watch your step, please. All right. State.
Thank you.
Stephanie Johnson, a witness herein, being first duly sworn, was examined and testified as follows. I, Miss Babcock's Poole.
Miss Johnson, please identify yourself.
I am Stephanie Johnson.
And by whom are you employed?
The United States Postal Service. I'm a customer service.
Say that again. You're in customer service?
Yes. Customer service supervisor.
Okay. And in which post office are you currently located?
The Belvidere Post Office.
Okay. And were you the customer service supervisor at the Belvidere Post Office on May 18, 2021?
Yes, I was.
And do you recall that day?
Yes.
Okay. What stands out to you about that day?
The incident that happened.
Okay. Let's start with what were you doing right before noon that day?
I was probably in the back in my office.
Okay. At some point did you leave the back?
Yes.
Okay.
A clerk came back. Annette came back. She's a clerk that was at the front. She came and got me and said that there was somebody up front that wasn't putting a mask on and…
Objection. Hearsay.
It's for, so why she was.
It was just the reason why I went up there.
Hang on. Wait, there's an objection. So anytime there's an objection.
I apologize.
It's okay. Just wait until I rule on that. So in this case, I'm going to equate it to why a police officer was dispatched someone just to show why she did in fact go up. Okay? So the objection will be overruled. If you want to ask the question again.
Sure.
I, Miss Babcock's Poole.
Sure. So, what made you come to the front of the post office?
Annette said she needed help.
Okay. And did you go up front to help her?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do?
Well, I walked up there and the first thing I said was, "Sir, we cannot video in here." And then I said, "And also we wear masks."
Okay. So that's the first thing you said. What made you say those things?
Well, when Annette came back to get me, that was why she came and got me.
Okay. When you came up front, what did you see?
I saw he was videoing his wife was also there. They were both being loud. He just kept walking around the post office. He just kept walking around the post office and that's what I saw.
Okay. And when you say, he, who are we talking about?
The gentleman over there.
Pointing.
Okay. Do you know his name?
Mr. Wigginton.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask the record to reflect that Miss Johnson identified Mr. Wigginton.
The record shall so reflect.
Thank you.
I, Miss Babcock's Poole.
And did you, yourself, have interaction with Mr. Wigginton?
Yes, I did.
And what did that entail?
I asked him to put a mask on. He said, "No, sorry, we don't wear masks. You're just wearing them because you have to." There is nothing, I can't say exactly what I said, but it was something to the effect of we've been wearing masks for a year and a half and if there's signs posted everywhere, so that's what we do is wear masks here.
Okay. Now, when you say that he said that to you, what was his body language like?
He was loud. He was being loud and I'd say pushy.
Okay.
Loud and pushy.
And how did that make you feel?
I don't, I felt, aggression and, I felt, he was confrontational.
Okay. And let me just back you up just a bit here. You're familiar with the layout of the front lobby of the post office in Belvedere?
Correct.
Are there, on May 18, 2021, were there any signs up in the front lobby about masks?
They would have been posted right there on the front by the clerks.
Okay. Is there?
Against the glass.
Was asking customers to wear masks a policy of yours?
Yes.
Okay. And so, when you first encountered him, you just said he was loud and pushy. What happened next?
He continued to talk to us and ask things like, "Are you refusing my business?" And of course I said I was not refusing his business. I just asked him to put a mask on, and then he got louder, and then I said I'm going to call the police.
Okay.
I said, "Would you like me to call the police?" Or, I said I'm going to call the police. I'm sorry, I can't recall exactly what I said.
Okay.
But it was something like that. And then he said, what did he say? "Oh, no, don't do that." Or something.
Okay.
The way he said it. So and then, yes.
Is this still part of your first encounter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what did you do in response to this interaction?
So I think we talked back and forth a little bit, and I know Annette was next to me also talking at the same time as me. We were talking. He was still walking around the post office, him and his wife. And then he continued, and I said I'm going to call the police, and he said, "Please do." I think that's what he said. And so I went back into the back. Our postmaster was not there at the time, so I went first to call him and just to make sure that that's what he wanted me to do, and it was obviously because we were feeling threatened at the time, so that's what we do when we feel threatened, and I went back to talk to the other supervisor, Kayla Osborne, and then I believe I came back up front.
Okay.
And talked a little bit more.
Okay. Would a non-employee been able to get into the back with you? Get into the back with you?
Not in the back.
Someone who is not an employee, would they be able to access the back of the post office?
No.
Okay, so you went to a place that the public could not access.
Objection. Leading.
The objection will be sustained.
I miss Babcock's Poole.
Did you make the phone call in the back of the post office?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And, okay, so, you called. Okay. Okay.
I was not the one that called the police.
Okay. And at what point was this in your couple interactions with Mr. Wigginton?
So, I said, "Would you like me to call the police?" And he said, "Oh, no, don't do that." And then I think we had a little more interaction, and then he said, and then I said again I'm going to call the police, and then he said okay. Honestly, I don't recollection exactly.
Okay. And then where were you located during all of your interactions with Mr. Wigginton?
I was behind the counter.
Behind the counter, okay. And did you feel safe behind the counter?
I felt threatened when he said to me after it was said we're going to call the police, he said, "Go ahead. You're about to get educated."
Okay.
That was when I felt threatened because I didn't know what that meant at that time. I'm not sure what he meant by, "You're about to get educated."
Okay. I know what he was saying at that time. What was he doing when he said that to you?
Videoing.
About how close was he to you?
He was, if here's the counter, maybe the red tape, the red tape over there maybe.
And were you concerned? You were concerned by his statement?
Yes.
Okay. And when you asked him to put on masks, what was your expectations?
I would hope that they were going to put masks on.
Okay. And at some point did you tell them what was going to happen if they refused?
Well, when they continued to video or, sorry, when they continued to stay in the lobby and everything, yes, I said that I would be calling the police.
Okay. And did you ask them about their business there?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall. Okay. Is your memory exhausted to that point? That was a strange question. Can you not remember what you...
Objection. Leading. She hasn't even asked a question that she can answer, but she's already trying to introduce.
All right. So the initial question, what was the question that she said she didn't remember?
I asked whether she asked them about their business inside the post office.
Okay. She said she didn't recall. You asked if her memory was exhausted.
Exhausted to that point.
The only thing I remember saying about their business is that I was not refusing their business.
I miss Babcock's Poole.
Okay. But what did they need to do if they wanted to conduct business without a mask?
I didn't see that they had any business. I was just asking that they put a mask on.
Okay. At some point did you ask them to leave?
I don't recall.
You don't recall, okay. Did you give a written statement to Officer Reese with the Belvedere Police Department?
I did.
If I show you that statement, will it help you refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Objection, Judge. She never even said her recollection was exhausted on any questions.
She said she didn't recall.
Okay.
I know it's splitting hairs, but I'll allow her to review that to refresh her recollection.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Sure.
I miss Babcock's Poole.
I'll have you read this and just let me know when your memory is refreshed.
What are we calling that? Peoples?
5.
Am I supposed to read it out loud?
No, read it to yourself. Sorry.
Okay.
I miss Babcock's Poole.
And so, did you ask if they had business there?
To the best of my knowledge, that is what I wrote on my statement, so I must have.
Okay. And did you ask them to leave if they were done with their business?
That I don't recall.
Okay. Is that what you wrote in your statement, though?
Yes.
Okay. And that statement was given on May 18, 2021.
Correct.
That's the day of this incident.
Correct.
Okay. And Stephanie, as a customer service supervisor, are you familiar with what types of activities are allowed and not allowed in the lobby of the post office?
Yes.
What is allowed in the lobby of the post office?
Anything postal is allowed in there. I guess I need a little more. I mean, if you asked me, if someone can come in and, let's say, campaign or do something political, no.
Okay.
If you ask me if someone can come in and put a poster up for a cancer patient, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have to say no to all of that.
Okay. So, strictly limited to.
Just postal business.
Okay. And is there a way for people to file grievances if they don't agree with something a postal employee did or said?
They can call the 1-800 number.
Okay. And where could a person get the 1-800 number?
Objection. Relevance, Judge.
What's the relevance?
There was some discussion of First Amendment concerns, and there again, is context for this in that Beverly Wigginton had been in there on prior occasions, and we had a previous witness testify as to what she did and said on those occasions.
So I guess is the point of asking about that 800 number to then get into that Beverly had made complaints.
No. It was just simply to show that there's an avenue for filing complaints.
From making complaints.
That would be speculative on events that didn't even happen, that aren't even related to.
Okay. As to the question of is there an 800 number to make complaints, I'll overrule the objection and allow her to answer.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're not getting into
Sure.
irrelevant issues. Okay, so you can answer that.
Okay.
As far as the 800 number,
There is an 800 number that customers can call,
Okay. Thank you.
and it can be found online.
Thank you. No additional questions, Your Honor.
Attorney Jenks, any questions?
Cross-examination by Mr. Jenks.
On that day you did, when you said you walked down to the back, you informed Mr. Wigginton that he could not film?
Correct.
Okay, and that's you're stating is your policy, that people cannot film in the post office?
At the time, that is what I had thought the policy was, but I do know now that is not.
Okay, so people are allowed to film now. That's your understanding?
They can film in the post office. They just cannot film closer to the counter where they may see financial information of employees. I'm sorry. Of customers.
Okay, and when you were speaking to Mr. Wigginton, he was behind the island at that time, correct?
Correct.
Okay, did he go anywhere in the post office that was non-accessible to the public?
No.
Okay, you stated that he made a comment to you that you were going to get educated. That's what your testimony was, correct?
Correct.
You didn't know what he meant by that?
Correct.
Okay, did he make any direct threats to you?
No, but I felt by saying, "You're about to get educated," I didn't know what that meant, so that made me feel threatened.
But he said that after you had a disagreement about him filming, then you had a conversation about calling the police. And at that time, he said you're going to get educated.
Go ahead. You're about to get educated.
Go ahead and call the police. You're about to get educated. And you didn't take that to mean that the police were going to maybe come and give you some better information concerning the law on that?
Not at the time, no.
Okay, and the entire time concerning this interaction with Mr. Wigginton, you were behind the desk?
Correct.
Okay, and how much distance would be between the desk and behind the island in feet?
Would that be the same question? I don't know. I said, I would say it may be the red tape there, maybe even a little bit closer. I'm not positive, and I wouldn't be able to tell you feet.
Okay.
It's probably closer.
You also stated that he made a comment. Sorry, not going to happen, and that it was after you asked him to stop filming. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
Any redirect based on that?
Just briefly.
Redirect examination by Miss Babcock's Poole.
And there was also, in addition to the conversation about the video, a conversation about masks, correct?
Correct.
No additional questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Okay.
All right. State, your next witness?
The state calls Caleb Osborne.